Hello and welcome to Arirang News Break on this Wednesday, May 18th, live from Seoul. I'm Han-daeun. We start on the domestic political front. The factional strife within Korea's ruling Saenuri Party is deepening following the party's poor showing in last month's general election. On the opposition side, which outperformed their own expectations in April's poll, the atmosphere is much better, with both parties joining hands to remember the May 18th democratic movement. Kim Young-gil starts us off.
The ruling Saenuri Party is in turmoil after loyalists to President Park Geun-hye refused to participate in a crucial meeting to establish an emergency panel on Tuesday.
The meeting consisting of senior members was not held due to low attendance. This is the first such case in Korea's constitutional history.
The ruling party is seeking to establish an emergency panel and an innovation committee to lead the party until new leadership is elected to reform the party in the wake of last month's election defeat. However, lawmakers who are outside the pro-Park circle, including Representative Kim Yong-tae, who was expected to lead the party's innovation committee, withdrew his bid to run.
Democracy is dead in the Saenuri Party. It has lost its last chance to ask for the people's apology.
Kim's resignation has put the brakes on the ruling party's efforts to reform and make revisions to party rules. Meanwhile, Korea's opposition parties were to take part in an official ceremony on Wednesday to mark the historic May 18th democratic movement. Kim Young-gil, Arirang News.
Amid the political turmoil, a national ceremony to mark the 36th anniversary of the May 18th democratic movement has just started at a national cemetery in Korea's southwestern city of Gwangju, with prominent figures in attendance. Prime Minister Hwang Kyo-ahn, along with the leaders of Korea's three political parties, are participating, while the families of the democratic movement victims and some 3,000 students are also attending the ceremony. Thousands of people took to the streets in the city of Gwangju in 1980 to protest against the military rule of Chun Doo-hwan, who seized power in a military coup and later became president. North Korea will be one of the topics of discussion at the Group of Seven summit in Japan next week. The White House also says Pyongyang will continue to face its current isolation if it doesn't forego nuclear development. Park Jong-hong has this report.
North Korea's provocations will be high on the agenda at the upcoming G7 summit. White House Press Secretary Josh Earnest says the U.S. is confident the issue will be addressed since the regime's destabilizing activities are a common cause of concern. In a press briefing, he added that Washington will continue to work with the international community to isolate the North until they make clear that they're prepared to denuclearize the Korean peninsula and stop engaging in provocative acts. He reiterated that it will be the same kind of isolation the regime currently faces. In addition, he said the U.S. is leading the way in international efforts to pressure the North to comply with its global obligations, and that is why the toughest sanctions yet were adopted by the UN Security Council earlier this year. U.S. President Barack Obama and other G7 leaders will convene for a two-day summit from May 26 in the Japanese city of Iseshima. Park Jong-hong, Arirang News.
Picture Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un in the same room thrashing out their differences. It might be difficult to imagine now, but it might happen if the Republican presidential nominee wins the White House in the fall. In an interview with Reuters, Trump expressed a willingness to talk to Kim if it helped to get the regime to denuclearize. Trump said, quote, "I would speak to him. I would have no problem speaking to him," a different tone to his previous remarks about the North Korean leader when he called Kim a maniac and a madman. Trump refused to elaborate on specific North Korea policies, but said he would pressure China to help find a way to deal with the regime. 3 bombs, a car bomb and 2 suicide bombings, rocked Baghdad on Tuesday, killing around 70 people and injuring some 150. The Islamic State militant group has claimed responsibility for the attacks, which ripped through markets and restaurants in Shia-dominated neighborhoods. The U.S. and the rest of the international community have condemned the attacks that specifically targeted innocent civilians. The latest bombings come less than a week after ISIS claimed car bombings killed more than 100 people in the Iraqi capital. And that does it for now. Thank you for watching. Keep it tuned to Arirang for more news updates coming up at noon.